I had done a previous video showing how I reworked this foyer because my hall closet really doesn't fit clothes. It's not deep enough from here forward to actually house a hanger. So I thought I would use this as an overflow for my kitchen, and I would then buy this rack, which has worked out well so far, which allowed the vent to have an opening there. But we're getting prepped, and it's gonna be a while before we actually do the whole process, but I'm going to bring this downstairs into my basement because we're going to be removing some cabinets that are down there that actually have hanging rods for clothes. So we're going to use this for the clothes, and I'm going to take this cabinet and use that for overflow of food. And then I'm going to go back and try to rework this closet to accommodate the shoes, the boots, the hats, the coats. I'm working on getting this cabinet totally emptied out, and I'm going to be able to reuse these little shelving systems inside that other cabinet as well, which will really save me some money, and they're quite useful. So I've removed everything off of this shelf, and now I'm ready to relocate this cabinet next to this wall. I repositioned the cabinet next to the wall here, and you can still see the vents exposed. And I just left this plant here for the time being to help cover the plug where the light cord is extending. I'm going to find a better way to hide that. And inside, I started to put some things away. And my biggest concern was where I was going to put my air fryer, because my air fryer is kind of bulky, but if I turn it sideways, it fits perfectly in that area. I've got my cookbooks. I've got some overflow sugar and flour. I have my hand mixer there, some food, overflow of napkins. So I think this is going to work out perfectly. I totally cleaned out this closet, and this is the rod that was being used as a coat rod that doesn't really fit hangers on it. And I've so far just moved some hats and gloves that I had in bins in the other cabinet over to this cabinet for now. I decided to put this one, which is longer and shallower, at the bottom for now. And I put the more sturdier, deeper one at the top, because I'm going to then stack some stuff up there because the ceiling goes way up higher. And I'm going to use that for things that I don't need to readily access, such as this inverter. My husband has a lot of shoes, and this one rack is probably not going to be sufficient. I'm going to get an extra one so that I have an extra level of shelving at the top. But I'm going to do that after I finish getting everything arranged in the closet. I don't want to go out and buy things that I don't really need to buy, and I don't want to take up space unnecessarily. I went into Menards so I could try to get an extra stackable shelf that I'm going to need for my closet, that I'm now going to rework to be used as a closet again, and stack some shoes in there. So let me go find that. So this is the stackable shelf that I need, so I'm going to just grab one and put it in my cart, and they're $8.99, and I'll start working on my closet space. So I went back to my local thrift store, and it pays to be persistent because I found this table for only $10, and I'm going to go into the Dollar Tree and see if I can find some paper to put on this board, a sanding block, and it may need just a little bit of touch up with a bracket here or there, but for $10 it's solid wood, and it's exactly what I needed for the space in my foyer. So this is what the table looks like that I bought. It's like a planter stand, and it's all wood. And I decided to go to the store, get a new sanding block so I could sand it down. I'm going to repaint it with some satin paint called Blossom White, and I bought some new brackets because the brackets on here I think are too big. They're a little oversized, and I don't think they're going to work as well. So I'm going to replace them with smaller brackets. And then for $20, I will bring it into my foyer and see how it looks, and I'm sure it'll be fine. And I'm really happy that I was able to find this because I did need the open bottom for my vent. I'm going to be doing the underside of the plant stand first, but actually it's not in very bad condition, so it's just going to need some light sprays of the Rust-Oleum, and then I'll be able to turn that over when it's dry and finish the top portion. I finished painting the plant stand and I brought it back in the house and positioned it in place. I decided to turn it around, and those two bars, I made sure they were in the front because otherwise they were going to cover over this vent. I also decided to add a draw pull on the front of it, so it looked like this is actually a draw, even though it's not. It matches the draw pulls on the cabinet next to it. The only thing left is I'm going to find something possibly to bridge this gap between here so that it makes an extra shelf. And I'll look and see if I can find some decorative item to go above it. I went to the big box store and I actually found this white board. Now you'd think it's just a plain white board, but this is actually a small cabinet door. And I'm going to use that as the shelf down here, and it's the perfect size. It was 20 inches by 13 inches. So let me install that and show you how that came out. Now the white shelf is installed underneath and it's a perfect fit, and it's nice and sturdy, and it just was a really easy find. I couldn't believe it was there. It was on clearance and it was $7.50. So I'm really happy with that. So the last thing I was going to do was I have a little white plastic wicker basket that I'm going to use on the shelf. Just so I have some place to store stuff or hide the stuff away. And I also have this board I was using in another room. I thought that would fill up the space nicely. So now I have my whole foyer reworked with the cabinet moved over, the plant stand that I reworked with a little bit of storage, and I can rearrange decor on the top of it. And I left the planter to the side where it was. So that's the rework of my foyer space, and it's going to be really functional and useful now. And I've reworked the closet, so let me show you. I've installed the second stackable rack in the closet, and I've put the shoes away. There's still plenty of room for my vacuum, which I really am glad about. And the only thing I have to do is really just push the coats a little sideways so they'll fit, because as you can see, it will not, the door would not close if these were straight out. Plus they don't fit, they hit the wall and they're buckling. So this is what I'm going to be doing with the hall closet. I've rearranged it and put hats and gloves up above. That's an emergency inverter. And I put any poisons and sprays up high so that nobody can touch them who shouldn't have access to them. I am really pleased with the way the foyer turned out. The plant stand fits the space perfectly, provides the right amount of storage, and now the closet is now a closet once again for coats, shoes, and hats. I repurposed the cabinet for overflow from the kitchen instead, and everything is much more functional. If you like this video, give it a like, a share, a thumbs up, and a subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.